I could have used some clickbait title, like, "Is the channel dying?" to get your attention, to get you click on it in the video list. But I didn't. I think you know by now, if you've been around, that's not my style. So hello, and welcome to the March and April's analytics update on the channel review thing that we do every so often. I didn't get this out in March. We'll talk about that. And so we're just going to combine March and April together. Here's the overall theme of these 2 months. Everything is down. Here's my overall response to everything being down. Okay, that's fine. So as I noted, when I stopped the Saving Servette series, I have a lot going on in my life. On top of all the like personal things I have going on in my life and working and being married and having kids and all that kind of stuff, I was putting out 10 videos a week, all around 20 to 30 minutes in length. And it's with, with Football Manager, you're also not just playing the games that you record. Like you have to record the 3, 4, 5, 6 games in between and do transfers and all that kind of stuff. Plus editing, plus rendering, uploading, creating thumbnails, titles, descriptions, etc. And that wasn't to mention also trying to stay on top of responding to comments and being active in the Discord, which, by the way, I've done a really poor job of. So I'm going to try and work on that in May and June. So check out the link below. Join our Discord community. We got a little community there, but I haven't done a good job, fostering it. So I'm gonna try and stay, be more engaged there. So sorry. But most importantly of all, I wasn't sleeping well, like at all. Like it was really bad. And I think I mentioned in one of the videos, I felt like Atlas, the guy that, holds up the world, with all the stuff going on in my life. And pro tip, doing this, holding up the world, when you're not getting enough sleep, generally a bad idea. So as we dive into the analytics today, I want to say thank you for your continued support. That's why I've got my Patreon page pulled up. I didn't really know what to put up because I didn't want to throw the analytics up there because you'd be looking at all the graphs and stuff that I have pulled up. So I just thought I'd leave it on this. But thank you not just for the support on the channel. Obviously, thank you for that. But for understanding, like why I can't play every game you might request me to play, or for being patient with me when I don't respond fast enough to a comment or, a tweet or whatever. I appreciate the support in general. It means a lot. We've got 15 people that, after all the fees and stuff, are supporting the channel to the tune of $62 a month, which is just crazy. What's been really cool, because I know like some people, it's like around Christmas, you join Patreon, you're like some of the first supporters, and then like over time, you're like, I don't know if I can afford that much, or I can't afford it at all, which like, dude, you or gal, right? I just say dude. Take care of yourself, right? Like that makes sense. So what's been really cool to see is like we've had some people drop off, and like usually what happens is that month someone else hops on, which it's been really cool to see because obviously, your viewership is going to change over time, and again, your Patreon income is going to change over time and stuff like that. Some of you have been around forever, and I really appreciate that too. I'm not saying that I'm not, but I if you've ever supported the channel, it means a lot. It's kind of bananas to me that people like this. $62 a month is helping me do things in my life. It helps me, like I picked up a new game that I'm gonna have a kind of an intro question type video out called For the King. That'll be coming out hopefully later this week to kind of see how you want to see that game. Like all that comes from here, and it just supports me in terms of like being able to like pay my bills and go out to dinner and stuff like that. So that's really, really cool. Like that's enough money right there. Maybe not after taxes, but let's just say before taxes for me to buy a spring season of we call it soccer football for my 4-year-old, which is really cool. So thank you so much for that. So the first analytics I'm going to show you actually has nothing to do with the channel. And you may be like, dude, okay, this is not a vlog, but I think this is important, and it underlines why I feel okay with this, with the views and stuff on the channel going down. This is my sleep, according to my Fitbit. And as you can see, the general theme, like, started off okay January. It's probably because, like, the holiday, and I probably slept in on January 1st. But, like, I was getting down to, like, 6 hours of sleep, maybe 6.5. My Fitbit band died here, and they had to send me a replacement. That's why there's no data. But then this is also where we started making changes, right? And stopping Servette and all that kind of stuff. And then, boom, big spike because, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get more sleep. And then it kind of fell off a little bit, and I had a bad week there. And then it's come back. One of these I think it's probably this week is way up there because I got sick one night and powered through work the next day on like 4 hours sleep or 5 hours sleep or something like that. It was a bad idea. And then I went to bed at like 8:30 and slept like literally like almost 11 hours. So that kind of throws the numbers off a little bit. And then this is, you know, I got up really early yesterday to go do something on a Sunday morning. So overall, the theme is this is positive. Like if you just look at the big gap as like this is where the change was, you can see my cursor, right? That is massive. Like going from 6 hours of sleep to up here to 8, it's like long-term health benefit, massive. I was also going to show you, I don't like there's no lines to show you like the 7, the 6, the 5 to see like how close you are to those things. So if you look at, this is just the monthly view on my phone, you can kind of see. I think you can kind of see, or it might be too fuzzy. Here, look there. Look there. There you go. So like it definitely has spiked over 7 hours in March and April, and then obviously May is not nearly complete. But it spiked over 8 hours, and that is massive. So like maybe that's helping me mentally go like I'm okay with not getting as many views. You know, that's totally fine. So I just thought I'd share that with you so that like you could like, it has made a difference for me to not put as much pressure on myself to create videos and run 74 different series and all that kind of stuff. So thanks for understanding. So I don't have my spreadsheet where I have like the plus and minus and the percentage difference and whatever. Honestly, that's just too much work now to kind of compare, especially when things are going down. It's kind of like, oh, that's depressing. Oh, that's a little depressing. So I'm not even going to do that to myself. We're just going to look at month to month. So February is the blue and March is the orange. So I'm just going to give you the overarching like 30,000 foot view on this. And as you can tell, even though March was 3 days longer, we had, whatever is that, 26,000 less views or watch minutes and a few, you know, like 1,500 less views. And that's okay. Because what I'm thinking is happening is, well, one, the Nordic Journeyman series is long in the tooth, right? Like we're on Club 4 now, not in March, but like even then we were still, I want to say we're still a start. And that's been going on a long time. And usually what happens is if you start a new series, like there's a spike because people are like, oh, well, I was really behind on the other series. Well, I'm gonna hop in now on the new series. So you usually see a spike with things like that. And I could, I guess, like from a strategy standpoint on YouTube, I could do like 20 episode series. But I kind of like the Journeyman. And so I'm just gonna do what I like. And hopefully that's okay. And because I can't run 4 series or 2 series at the same time, you know, we've got the Experiment, but that's like 1 episode and it doesn't require any playing. It just requires vacationing so I can go into the future. That is what is working for me personally right now from like a time standpoint. So I'm not going to do the Journeyman forever. Eventually it's going to fall off and we'll start something new and hopefully we'll see a spike then. But what I'm thinking is happening is, right, like February, March, April, May, like we're getting to where Football Manager's been out 6-7 months now, right? November, December, January, February, March. Yeah, something like that. And so when the game comes out, it's like big spike, lots of interest. What's new? What's different? Blah, 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 blah. And then over time, it kind of fades off. So maybe that's what happens. Like if that's the natural life cycle, if that makes sense, of a Football Manager heavy channel, well, then maybe that makes sense. Maybe we'll see a big spike in October when the beta comes out, in November when the game comes out, and stuff like that. So that's, I don't know if I want to say I'm counting on that, but I'm okay with this stuff falling off a little bit because I stopped creating as much content and, you know, like that's naturally going to happen. Still happy that we added over 100 subscribers, you know, in a month. That's still good. That's over 3 a day. It's like 3 and 3.4, 3.3, something like that. Probably 3.4 something. So that's good. And we made a little bit of money. And obviously the other thing that plays into the revenue is not just the watch time and the views, because obviously if you don't have views, you don't have ads playing, but also my guess, I haven't looked and I can't really show you according to YouTube, is the ad rates, I'm guessing, go down after the holidays, right? So like you get a big spike, probably I would guess October, November, December, where it's like, buy all the stuff, you know, ads. And then because of that, there's more competition for ad space, so that drives the rates up. And then in March, it's kind of like, it's March, you know, like happy St. Patrick's Day, lads. What else, right? So maybe you see a drop off there. Still over 9 minutes and 19 seconds, so that was good in March. But overall, again, not terrible. but just not growth. But that's okay. And we'll get, I'm going to show you April compared to March, and then I'm going to show you year over year, which is what kind of gives me, I don't know, not hope, but it makes me feel not as bad about it, right? So here's, let's see, what is it? It's April is in blue and March is in orange. And again, you can see big drop-offs, right? Like, I think there was a day I missed a video or putting a video out. Watch time from, or average view from 9:19 to 8:45. Again, anything over 8, I feel pretty good about. I'd like it to be higher, of course, but whatever. Under 20,000 views, you know, a little disappointing. But again, I think I missed a video, which is what caused the big drop here, right? So we had a day of 2,000 minutes versus like the days before was 5,200 and 4,000 and stuff like that. So and obviously big change in views. It was like 300 or 400 views different. So could have been better, sure, but I this seems really weird for me because I feel very like mellow and chill about this, which I feel like I shouldn't. But it's almost, I feel like I don't know, maybe this is too rambly, I apologize. I feel like I've got better perspective where I'm like, you know what? Right now, my family's okay. You know, the sun is shining. Spring has finally arrived in the United States. We had a longerish winter. I'm not going to be at a million subscribers on YouTube no matter what I do this year, right? Like, that's not the genre that I play in. And I'd rather build a good community and you guys enjoy what I'm doing. And most of all, me enjoy what I'm doing. So, I mean, revenue, obviously really big drop off there, which is unfortunate. But that to me underlines, like, thank you for supporting me on Patreon. Like, in April, I definitely earned more money on Patreon than I did through YouTube ads. So thanks. It means a ton. And the subscribers remained about the same. So that I think that's okay. Again, averaging, 3.3, 3.4 a day is less than the 10 we were averaging, in December and January. But obviously there was a lot of stuff going on with U.S. soccer, and now it's just like a pit of despair. So maybe people aren't looking for those videos anymore. I don't know. And okay, so this is the year over year. So the blue obviously is this year, the orange is last year. So this is what makes me go like, okay, everything's fine, right? So the entire year last year, and I started on January 11th of last year, and again, didn't really have it. It kind of started to grow here, and then we had the big, Trinidad and Tobago, I apologize, debacle, and that, I had that U.S. soccer series going, and, the FM18 came out, so there's a big spike there. But even with all that, all of last year, we had 900,000 minutes, and we've surpassed that in the first 4 months of this year. So that's really cool, right? So, like, we could be on track. Like, I haven't looked at what the monthly is. So, like, look at April, 170,000 minutes. I could do some quick math, I guess. 170, and there's, 8 more months in the year? I mean, that's another 1.36 million minutes watched. We should break, and that's not counting FM19 and hopefully a big spike there. We should break easily 2 million watch minutes this year. Same thing with the views, right? Like, we've almost, again, we had a huge spike, but we've almost caught up. But the difference here is, like, look at the gap between when I started last year and when I'm starting this year. So there's already, like, we've got this built-in lead, right? So until we get to about here, we're going to be ahead the whole year unless something catastrophic happens. But, what is it? Just call it 20,000 views a month. What is that? 160,000 in the year, right? So 160,000 views. We've already done 105. Like, that's over 265,000 views. It's not a million. It's not anything crazy. And again, who knows what happens with FM19? But the overarching theme is, like, I go like, okay, last year 20 people watched my videos this time of year, and now it's like 200 to 300 when they come out, which is like a huge difference, right? Like, that's like 10 times as many people. Same thing, revenue is more than all of last year. Obviously, I didn't really monetize until that video started taking off anyway. Like, subscribers, we've got a little more than half of what we had for all of last year. So, like, all this makes me go, things are fine. I'm not sure if we're going to get to 5,000 subscribers. Again, who knows what happens when FM19 comes out. That's kind of what would hinge, I would imagine, part of my year. But even, okay, so let's take last month. We had 104 subscribers added. That's 3.4666666667 on the end. Okay, so that's per day, right? So if we did that for the rest of the year, I guess I could just do 104 times 8 months, right? That'd be 832 more subscribers on top of as the time I'm doing this, 2,995. We're almost at 3,000. It may be at 3,000 by the time this video comes out. I don't know. That would get us to 3,827. So again, not the 5,000 that I was hoping for, but that's as things are tapering off. So who knows, again, what happens in October, November, December when things kind of come back for Football Manager videos. So that... I go like, oh man, like I really wanted to be at 5,000, right? Because like that's what Lelujo and Loki Doki and the other big guys like that. It's kind of been like they started and then they kind of bumped up and then they really bumped up. Like, oh, I wish I could do that, but it's also like, if you told me last year that in 16 months I'd go from 0 subscribers to 3,000 or to 3,000, 2,995, I would have just said you're ridiculous. So I'm not going to just look at this and go like, oh, that's so, man, I wish it was more, because like, it doesn't do you any good to wish it was more, if that makes sense. So thank you so much for your support on the channel. It's been really cool to see. Again, the average view duration is about 9 minutes for the whole year compared to 7 minutes. Now it's very spiky because I didn't have videos out every day last year until, this time frame, but you guys watch my videos, which is really cool. And then looking at quarter to quarter, so like this first quarter of this year versus last quarter of last year, blue is this year. So we had more watch time, less views, just barely, but more, like all things, all told, I go like, we are fine. We are fine. I feel like there was something else I said I was going to show you, and now I can't remember what it was, and I'm going to panic and have to go back and look at the video and probably not edit it back in. But this has been a bit rambly. I apologize. We're 17 minutes in. Things are fine. We are going to have stuff coming out on the channel. We've got the Nordic Journeyman continues. We've got the experiment continuing. I'd like to kind of know how long you want the experiment to go. I'm thinking, until they retire, like 35-ish, maybe something like that, if they're still kicking around. I'm going to have the For the King kind of intro and then a question on how you want to see it video coming out. But above all, I just want to say thank you so much for your support, both in and outside of YouTube. It means a lot. Make sure you hit, if you're watching, not just me, this is just a general disclaimer, which is, of course I have something to benefit from this. If you are watching something you enjoy on YouTube, give it a like. If you listen to a podcast that you really enjoy, write a review. It's one of those things that's kind of like people go like, well, I'm sure somebody else would do it, but it's like, you can do that. Like, not many people write podcast reviews. So I try and do that with the podcasts that I really, really listen to, you know what I'm saying? Hitting the like button, commenting. When you're a content creator and you slave away for a long time over content, it's a little lonely sometimes, because like you're not with your family, they're not with you, whatever. And you're just like, is anybody really watching this and enjoying it? And so when somebody leaves a comment, it means so much. So again, I'm not saying do it for me, right? I love getting comments, and sometimes I try to reply to them on time, right? If you are enjoying somebody's content, help them out. Give a little love. I don't think you'll meet a creator that says like, man, I really wish people would stop commenting. Hey, great video. Really enjoyed it. Whatever, right? Something like that where you go like, there are actual human beings out there watching. This is really cool. So all that's to say, thank you so much on the channel. Thank you for your support. Thanks to my patrons. You guys are ridiculous. I'm making more revenue from Patreon than I am from YouTube. So if you don't know you're making a difference, that should tell you enough, right? And I will try and do a May video on time and not have to combine it with June, but we'll see how life goes, okay? Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.